Confidence is sexy. You can tell when someone has it and when they don't. But sometimes a lack of confidence traces back to prior life events and traumas. Victoria Reynolds is a trauma reversal specialist. She is here to talk to us about having faith in ourselves. Great to see you.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me to share this with your audience.
Absolutely. Confidence really can have a major life impact. And you say even on our health. Explain that.
Yeah, actually the research that's been done by the NIH, the National Institutes of Health, show that lack of confidence can affect your health, your self-esteem. It can affect thoughts of suicide. It can affect social anxiety. It can affect learning. So it affects every part of our life.
And it can kind of eat away at you too if you don't, if you're feeling, non-confident or
Right.
insecure. So, I mean, it makes sense. So you use an acronym, FAITH. And faith not necessarily in the way everybody might think of it when they first hear it. What does faith stand for?
Well, it's interesting because I've been studying confidence. It's something I had major issues with. I grew up in this polygamist doomsday cult in Montana, and I didn't have any confidence. I grew up with this belief that as a girl I had no value, and when I was 11 years old, my dad promised me to a friend of his, so I was trying to figure out how to get out of my life. When I was 17, I had such lack of confidence, I was standing on the edge of a cliff ready to jump. And I decided to run away from home instead. And I had to figure out how to have confidence. I didn't have an education, I didn't have any money, I didn't have any social skills, but I figured it out. So I've kind of had this, I'm kind of a word nerd. Like you're a bird nerd, I'm a word nerd. So I did some research about the word confidence, and the root word for confidence is faith and trust. So I created an acronym, FAITH, to teach people how to have confidence. So F, fullness, is filling yourself up with self-improvement and self-care. And A is for acceptance. Accept that the failures and the pain and suffering of your past, actually, they're just learning lessons. And when you learn from them, they don't have control over you anymore. They go from pain to power. I is intuition. When you listen to that inner guidance, all of us have this inner guidance, and we just need to learn how to listen to it. And it will not lead us wrong. It will always guide us on our path, and we just need to listen. T is trust. Trust that you have it inside yourself to make the best choices for your life. This is your life path, and so this is about trusting yourself. And I know that's it's a stretch for people to learn self-trust, but man, when you trust yourself, then you make amazing choices. And H is honesty. It's about being honest with yourself about the successes that you've had, because most of us, we go through life focusing on everything that went wrong. But if we look at our lives, we'll see we have a history of success. So if we focus on the successes instead of the failures, then we see that we're actually been quite successful. Even if it's little things like the spelling bee you won in 2nd grade or the great paper you did in high school, those are successes. And when you build on the successes, then you start to build more and more confidence because you can see where you actually did win in your life. And all of those that really comes down to faith in yourself.
I have a question for you, because confidence, it seems like the way that we've been taught it for so long growing up is people just say oh, just be confident. Oh no, just go into that situation, just be confident. But they don't really, I at least, I'll speak for myself, was never really taught how to be confident.
Correct.
So a lot of times it's not like a switch I can just turn on. Do you have, is that part of your work, is helping people to learn how to exercise that muscle and build that?
Yeah, so absolutely. The thing I explain to people is that we're actually born with confidence. You wouldn't even learn how to walk if you didn't have confidence. But then we learn fear and we learn failure and we lose confidence. So this is about getting back what it is you're actually born with.
Oh yeah, that's true. There's nobody more confident than a toddler. They haven't been beaten down yet. Yeah.
When you use your background and what you went through as a teen to help other people get through traumas, what is the takeaway?
Well, ultimately, everything in life is about the relationship with yourself. So this is always about self-development. It's always becoming who we actually have the potential to be. We've just been fed all these stories about who we're not.
Not letting anyone else write that narrative for you.
Right.
So, all right, well, very interesting. Always a good reminder that confidence is something we can have and how important it is to have. To learn more and to see Victoria's book, Fearless and Free, you can find her by going to her website, victoriareynolds.com. We'll be right back.